Geoffrey Giuliano in conversation with Jack Bruce. Written by Geoffrey Giuliano. Narrated by Geoffrey Giuliano. John Simon Asher, Jack Bruce, was born on May 14, 1943. He was a Scottish musician, singer, and songwriter, known primarily for his contributions to the British supergroup Cream, which also included the guitarist-singer Eric Clapton and drummer extraordinaire Ginger Baker. In March 2011, Rolling Stone readers selected him as the 8th greatest bass guitarist of all time. Most musicians would have a very hard time distinguishing themselves if they wound up in a band with Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker, the magazine said at the time, but Jack Bruce was so gifted on the bass that he did it with ease. Bruce maintained a solo career that spanned several decades and also played in several musical groups. Although recognized first and foremost as a vocalist, bassist, and songwriter, he also played double bass, harmonica, piano, cello, and guitar. He was trained as a classical cellist and considered himself a jazz musician, although much of his catalog of compositions and recordings tended towards rock and blues. Bruce was born in Scotland to Betty Asher and Charlie Bruce, musical parents who moved frequently, resulting in the young Bruce attending 14 different schools, ending up at the Bella Houston Academy. He began playing jazz bass in his teens and won a scholarship to study cello and musical composition at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama while playing in Jim McHarg's Scottsville Jazz Band to support himself. The Academy disapproved of its students playing jazz. They found out, Bruce told musician correspondent Jim McEnany, and said, "You either stop or you leave college." So I left college. After leaving school, he toured Italy playing double bass with the Murray Campbell Big Band. In 1962, Bruce became a member of the London-based band Blues Incorporated, led by Alexis Corner, in which he played the upright bass. The band also included organist Graham Bond, the saxophonist Dick Hextall-Smith, and the drummer Ginger Baker. In 1963, the group broke up, and Bruce went on to form the Graham Bond Quartet with Bond, Baker, and the guitarist John McLaughlin. They played an eclectic range of musical genres, including bebop, blues, and rhythm and blues. As a result of session work at this time, Bruce switched from the upright bass to the electric bass guitar. The move to electric bass happened as McLaughlin was dropped from the band. He was replaced by Dick Hextall-Smith on saxophone, and the band pursued a more concise R&B sound and changed their name to the Graham Bond Organization. The group released 2 albums and several singles, but were not really commercially successful. During the time that Bruce and Baker played with the Graham Bond Organization, they were well known for their hostility towards each other. There were numerous stories of the two sabotaging each other's equipment and fighting on stage. Relations grew so bad between the two that Bruce left the group in August of 1965. After leaving, Bruce recorded a solo single, "I'm Getting Tired," for Polydor Records. He joined John Mayall and his Blues Breakers group, which featured the guitarist Eric Clapton. His stay, however, was brief, and he did not contribute to any releases at the time, but recordings featuring him were released later, initially on Looking Back and Primal Solos. After the Blues Breakers, Bruce had his first commercial success as a member of Manfred Mann in 1966, including Pretty Flamingo, which reached #1 in the UK charts, one of 2 #1 records of his career, the other being an uncredited bass part on the Scaffold's Lily the Pink, as well as the freewheeling and groundbreaking jazz rock of instrumental Asylum. While with Manfred Mann, Bruce again collaborated with Eric Clapton as a member of Powerhouse, which also featured the Spencer Davis Group vocalist Steve Winwood, credited as Steve Anglo. 3 tracks were finished on the Elektra Sampler album What's Shakin'. 2 of the songs, Crossroads and Steppin' Out, became staples in the live set of his next band, Cream. In July 1966, Bruce, Eric Clapton, and Ginger Baker founded the powerhouse trio Cream, which gained international recognition playing blues rock and jazz-inflected rock music. Bruce sang most of the lead vocals, with Clapton backing him up and eventually assuming some leads himself.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?